Man, I thought Everest gave me vertigo, but nope, that's not the 3D movie this year to give me vertigo at the sight of it. The Walk tells the story of Philippe Petit, who is a street artist in France, basically doing wire walks, juggling, basically entertaining the people of France on the streets. On a visit to the dentist, he sees an article about the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers that are, at the time that this movie takes place, 1973, are under construction. And he decides, you know what? I'm a wire walker. I want to put my wire across these towers and I want to walk across them. That's my dream. So he gathers a bunch of other people, accomplices as he calls, goes to New York to try and perfect and fulfill his dream of walking across the two towers. Now this is directed by Robert Zemeckis, who's known for films like Castaway, Forrest Gump, Flight, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and this small little movie that he made 30 years ago called Back to the Future. May have heard of it, may have not. One of my favorite movies of all time, but I'm not talking about that. I think after Flight, Robert Zemeckis has really gotten back on his game, because for a while after Castaway, he did a bunch of mocap movies, which were cool at first, but they were a little scary. They weren't performing financially, and they were just getting worse. So I'm glad to see Robert Zemeckis is back to doing live-action stuff, and The Walk, I think, is another hit. This is based off a true story that is, when you think about it, pretty incredible. There's a documentary about it on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called. There'll be a little text here telling me what it is. Thank you, editing. But anyway, that documentary is pretty amazing, and this character, he's an actual person, is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this movie. And you're thinking, all right, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a great actor, but how can he do a French accent? Because could he do it a little cartoony? Because we're so used to Joseph Gordon-Levitt with his regular voice. It was a little weird at first, I gotta say, but as time went on, his performance grew into being great. You don't think about the French accent, you believe that he is Philippe Petit, and he has this performance that is both a combination of enthusiasm, frustration, and confidence. Like, especially near the end of the movie, is when the frustration and confidence fit in. You have Ben Kingsley in here in this really great role as basically Philippe's mentor. Then you have this actress, Charlotte Le Bon. She's really great in the movie. A lot of the other actors do a really fantastic job. And then it's got a really great score by Alan Silvestri, who's done all of Zemeckis' work. There are two different scores, I feel like. There's a score near the beginning that's very much like his score for Roger Rabbit. Very jazz-like, similar to how Roger Rabbit was. And then near the end is the kind of score that Alan Silvestri usually does, which is still pretty good. And that's the key word for most of this movie. Pretty good, because most of the movie, I was like, you know what, I'm really liking this. It's well acted, well directed, but I'm just not in love with it. There's something about it that just, it's not as great as I've heard many people say it is. Until we get to the end. Once Philippe starts to do the walk across the Twin Towers, that is excellent right there. I absolutely love that sequence there because it's well photographed, it's very emotional. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, despite not saying a word, is fantastic. And it just, on the whole, it's very emotional. It will get to you, and it has that final delivery of the message the movie's trying to convey, which is just follow your dreams, and if you really believe in it, and if some other people around you believe in it, you can accomplish it, no matter how crazy or insane it is. And it left me with a really warm feeling in the end. Very happy, and kind of sad also, because it does have a very subtle but heartfelt tribute to the Twin Towers. It almost brought me to tears in the end, admittedly. Not just because the towers are gone, but also the theme of the movie and just the fact that it has that good ending. But before that, it is just good. filled with some flaws. Like, there are two accomplices that are just these random American guys. One is just a complete stoner who's annoying as hell. And then the other guy who's almost nondescript. I mean, I understand at the end they play a role in the sense of who Felipe's friends actually are, but they just didn't work for me, honestly. And as I mentioned before, this isn't really a complaint, but the movie was just plain good until we got to the ending, which is great. And with that ending, it's enough for me to say this movie's worth seeing in your lifetime. I won't say get off your ass and go see it now, although you probably should see it in the theater, in 3D. But it is a very well-made movie that, if you gotta go with a strong opening or a strong ending, go with the strong ending, because this is one of those movies that has a fantastic ending, as movies should be. It just keeps building up to a great climax, and this movie definitely delivers. It's probably going to be on my best of list. We'll see how the rest of the year plays out, but so far I really love this movie. And that's my review for The Walk. Leave a comment and tell me what you thought of this movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Like, subscribe, share me with your friends. Go check my official website out, therealmrrobinson.com, and then go follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, and Periscope. And this is The Real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.